Roger Ebert was one of our nation's most beloved film critics. With his partner Gene Siskel, Roger took film criticism from the pages of newspapers and into our living rooms with the television show At the Movies. Throughout his life, Roger shared his love of film, not only by conveying what makes a good movie, but which films were his favorites. This is not a show about those movies. This is a show about the movies Roger loathed, the films he despised, the movies he absolutely hated, movies like Turn It Up. On this episode, does this movie suck? Hello friends and welcome to the show. My name is Scott and welcome to our journey through, or my journey through, Roger Ebert's 2007 book, Your Movie Sucks. This week we're exploring the 2000 film Turn It Up, starring Pras and Ja Rule. If those two names sound familiar, it's because Ja Rule was a pretty successful rap artist in the early 2000s. To be quite honest, I kept mixing up Ja Rule and Nelly for some reason. When I googled Ja Rule's music, my reaction was, oh yeah, that song. It didn't annoy me greatly. And if the name Pras rings a bell, it's because he's most notable for being the third most popular member of the Fugees. No, that's Wyclef Jean. Come on, that's Lauryn Hill. Oh, yeah, that's Pras. Okay, that's not fair. He did have that song, Ghetto Superstar, but let's just face it, no one remembers the raps from that song. They only remember the chorus, and they don't remember the chorus because of Pras, they remember the chorus because of the Bee Gees. So their acting careers didn't really take off after Turn It Up. Ja Rule because he reportedly couldn't get out of the way of his own ego when taking roles. John Singleton made that pretty clear when he was casting Too Fast, Too Furious. And Pras? Oh, Pras. Well, his acting career didn't take off because, and spoiler alert, he can't act.
All I want to do is my music.
So let's get right to our blurb check where we look at poll quotes for movie boxes, and holy crap, these are bad poll quotes. The first one I found, and I want to apologize in advance for the terrible resolution of these images. It seems that no one is really saving high-res versions of Turn It Up movie boxes these days. Well, the first one is from Chris Hewitt of the St. Paul Pioneer Press. The poll quote reads, and I'll quote, "Stylish cinematography and, ellipses, spectacular music, ellipses." First things first, the ellipses are pointing out an omission because that's what ellipses do. But what is this quote telling us? If a friend came to you and said, hey, check this movie out, it's shot really well and has great music, you're going to ask your friend, what is it about? This poll quote's response would be, well, it's shot really well and has great music and stars Pras and Ja Rule. It's not a very convincing argument now, is it? Moving on, the next quote, again sorry about the quality, is my favorite. Ja Rule in his acting debut energizes the entire film. And this quote I'm going to agree with wholeheartedly. This movie lacks a ton of energy, but Ja Rule makes it slightly more palatable. I'm going to go ahead and assume that neither of these quotes are taken out of context since these reviews are lost to time online and they're not overly glowing. So that brings us to the film. Turn It Up. To be honest, I had to look this movie up after I was done. I would convince myself while watching it that there was no way this movie was released theatrically. It's a knockoff of other, better films. This is not the type of movie that gets released in the movie theaters. This is kind of the movie that you find at the $4 bin at Walmart. Much to my dismay, Turn It Up was released in theaters and it opened to a whopping $575,000 in its first week. Week 2? Ouch. Week 3? That's pretty horrible. They pulled it out of most of its theaters and it still dumped almost 80% of its already dismal receipts. Let's see week 4. Week 4? So there was no week 4. According to Box Office Mojo, this movie got pulled from theaters after 3 weeks. It got pulled out of most of its original theaters after 2 weeks. And it grossed a whopping total of $1.2 million. Not that bad, really. This movie couldn't have cost more than a couple million. $13 million? Where did that money go? That money is certainly not on the screen. While watching the film, you can't see $13 million in any meaningful way. It must have went to craft services or something, because there's no way this movie cost $13 million. So let's go ahead and take a look at Turn It Up. The movie is the story of Diamond, a wannabe rapper played by Pras. As we meet Diamond, he's recording in a studio that he can't afford. The manager of the studio is going to kick him out unless Diamond can start paying his bills.
Yo, you telling me to get up and pack up my shit just like that? What the fuck?
Go ahead, play the rest of the scene.
I'm gonna take care of you. No disrespect.
All right, man, I feel you.
Wait, play that again, play it again.
All right, man, I feel you.
And now you know why Ja Rule's scenes completely energize the film. The threat to get booted from the studio doesn't sit well with his friend Gage, who's played by Ja Rule.
Hey, yo, man, I ain't gonna let this nigga play us. Who the fuck going in and holler at this nigga?
Yo, what are you doing, man? I told you chill.
It's 5 minutes into this film. Do you really want to see Praz act for another hour and 25? Well, apparently neither did anybody else. Diamond talks Gage out of killing the studio manager, and the boys head to the club where they meet a record executive named Mr. White. Mr. White, well, that's a bit on the nose, kids.
Pleasure to meet you, Diamond.
Likewise, Mr. White.
Because he's a hothead, Gage gets angry that Mr. White doesn't want to sign Diamond without hearing a single song.
So, why don't you and your artist just keep at it? And if you ever do complete your tape, then you call me.
A call? That's it? Give you a fucking call?
Sweat it, man.
I was really hoping that this scene would lead to some sort of drug-fueled mixtape negotiation a la Boogie Nights, but no dice.
Wait, we can't pay the price of the demo tapes unless we take the demo tapes to the record company and get paid.
Hello, exactly!
That's not an MP, that's a YP. Your problem.
Back to Turn It Up. Gage gets a call from Mr. B who needs a job done. Mr. B is played by Jason Statham.
Gage, when you drop the shit off, you tell those fuckers, if I hear they've been buying off Teddy, I'll cut them off.
All right, B. I'm on it.
I apologize for the language in this episode, I really do, but there's not a single second in this film that isn't layered in some sort of expletive. So Diamond and Gage drop off Mr. B and things go south quickly.
Put it on the table.
Mr. B is not happy with the outcome of that scene.
Can't believe that fucking little cockroach. Try to jack you.
If it was for D seeing it coming, man, be fucking assed out right now.
You said much, Diamond.
Just like Gage said, man, we got lucky.
What a compelling leading man. Mr. B tries to get Diamond to commit to him for good, but Diamond turns him down. Diamond tries to appeal to Gage to get out of Mr. B's grasp, but Gage lets Diamond know where all of Mr. B's money is going.
This shit we doing, man, it pays for your studio time. It pays for your fucking crib. My car.
That's the line reading they went with.
My car.
You know, Diamond, it also pays for my car.
My car.
Oh boy. One more. Hey Ja Rule, what's your favorite kind of bird?
My car.
So this scene sets up what I'm going to call the pattern. And this is the pattern. Diamond has a scene where he tells someone that he's getting out of Gage and Mr. B's grasp, only to turn around in the next scene and do something with or for Gage and Mr. B. So what makes Diamond want to go the straight and narrow? Well, there's two main storylines that are pulling him in that direction. First, Diamond has a girlfriend. This is Kia, played by Tamala Jones. Kia tries to talk some sense into Diamond.
Okay, why don't we just stop playing this game like I don't know what you and Gage are doing?
Yo, why are you stressing me for?
Don't be making me out to be the bitch, Diamond. Whatever you do on your time is your business, but when it affects my life, you know I'ma speak my mind.
So the reaction shots of Diamond in this movie are amazing. Let's take a look at that again. There's not a thought in this character's head. This is classic acting 101 stuff. Any professional actor will tell you what you do when you're not speaking is just as important as what you do when you are speaking. Praz goes all blank-stared and dial-tony whenever he's not speaking. Take this scene for example. It turns out that Kia is pregnant and Diamond is not amused.
Man, you see the shit I'm going through? Fucking running around here like some madman. I could barely take care of myself. Now you wanna bring a child in the world? What the fuck's wrong with you?
I can take care of my baby. But I want my baby to have a father, not some thug who's running the streets, but a real man who could be there for my child.
It's just a blank stare. There's nothing happening here.
But I want my baby to have a father, not some thug who's running the streets, but a real man who could be there for my child.
So Kia and Diamond's child is one of the storylines that's pulling Diamond down the straight and narrow path. And here's the other storyline. I just want to warn you right now. When I saw this film, this storyline, or at least how it began, made me laugh. Hard, like a genuine hard belly laugh. So hard that I had to pause the film. So here it is. Let's rewind to right after Gage's appeal to Diamond about how Mr. B's money is helping his life.
My car!
That'll never get old. That's when we're introduced to Kia for the first time.
You know I'ma speak my mind.
After Diamond spends the night, Kia tries to get him to stay for the day.
Why don't you just stay?
Nah, I can't. I gotta go see my mom. She's not feeling well.
I talked to her yesterday on the phone. She didn't mention anything. Just call me later and let me know how she is, okay?
Okay, so Diamond's mom is sick. But Diamond and Kia have a scene where they have this entire playful conversation, so he's not really in any hurry to get to his sick mother. After that playful conversation, the very next scene, Diamond makes breakfast for his mother. He tells her he can cover the bills until she's feeling better.
I know you don't have a job. So whatever money you're getting is not the kind of money I want anything to do with.
It's not like that, Mom.
Diamond. This is your mama you're talking to. So don't hand me none of that crap.
All right. Look, I gotta go.
Sometimes you sound just like your father.
So Diamond leaves his sick mom and heads to the studio for a scene that lasts almost 60 seconds of screen time. Then he goes back to his mom's place.
Jesus. Mom. Yes, can you get an ambulance here quick? My mom passed out. Where are you located? 301 Wilcox Street, apartment 4B.
Such a compelling actor. Roll the Oscar reel.
Don't worry, Mom, it's gonna be all right. Just hang on, it's gonna be all right.
So we get this shot of Diamond looking pensively, well, at least looking blankly at the city, and she did. Total time of the mother's storyline, 3 minutes and 41 seconds. I'm serious, when that dissolve happens and we find out she's dead, it's the funniest thing in the movie. There's absolutely no emotional build-up to this moment. It's poorly acted, it's poorly written, and it's rushed. The death of Diamond's mother is only there to introduce Diamond's father, who inserts himself back into Diamond's life. The good thing is that his dad is a good dude, played by a good actor who's almost too good for this movie. And he has a good taste in music, which pulls Diamond towards the up and up, all the while...
Shit. Put that shit in the bag. Get it all in there. Thanks a lot, Seamus. Oh, almost forgot. Shit!
Gage robs this guy and uses the money to buy studio time for Diamond. Here's a side note. These three guys only appear in this scene. The movie doesn't explain who they are, and we just don't care as an audience. There's a concert scene, and that takes up some time. The money that Gage stole turns out to be Mr. B's, and he's not too happy about the robbery. Gage reveals that the money went to Diamond's album, so now Mr. B owns the album, or so he thinks. Gage convinces Diamond to do one last job for Mr. B. It goes sideways, of course, and Diamond swears off shooting people for good. That is until the very next scene where Mr. B comes for the master tapes to the album he thinks he paid for.
Gage!
Can I ask a question? What is Jason Statham doing? And I'm not talking about just being in this movie, although that's a relevant question. I'm talking about in this scene. While holding a gun, he looks like a badass. But when he starts shooting, what is that? Look at, what is he doing? It's so weird. Who shoots a gun like that? Feels kind of nice. After everything has happened, everyone in Diamond's wake either dead or pregnant. After a bloody shootout in which Diamond is the only survivor and the sole link to the carnage, after all of this, Turn It Up has the guts to end on a 1 year later scene in which Diamond is not in jail. In fact, he gives this heart-acknowledging speech.
Yo, Gage, I finished the album. What's done is done. But despite it all, I know deep inside you always have my back. I'm always carry you with me. Peace.
Oh, this movie. Oh, this movie. This movie reeks of firsts. It feels like a first draft of a first-time screenplay starring first-time actors. Sometimes I feel sad for what Roger went through watching these pieces of garbage. He spent his life watching everything that came out in an effort to write about art and warn us when films were not worth seeing. He spent an hour and a half in the theater watching Turn It Up, and then probably another hour or so writing about it. But that's not what makes me sad. What makes me sad is that he watched and wrote about Turn It Up without knowing that the movie would be largely forgotten. No one saw it then, and certainly no one remembers it now. He put the same amount of passion into criticizing this pile of skulch as he did praising other better films. And all for a movie that no one is now clamoring to see. And that makes me a bit sad. I'm sorry, Roger. Alright, well, this movie was garbage. But it's another one off the list. Join me next time when we ask the question, does this movie suck? I'm just going to warn you right now, the next one is terrible.